But us Somalis are not black. There's a difference between African and black. Let me ask you a question. Are Moroccans and Egyptians black? Tradition, our history, our culture are so much more different compared to these other countries that are actually black. Joshibil, if you're not black, what are you? I'm Somali. Let me ask you a question. If you were to see a very dark Indian man, would he be identified as a black person?
You know, these days I'm seeing viral videos of Somali guys who are saying that we're not African and we're not black. So I want to answer that question. Is Somalis black and African or not? In order to talk about that, we have to go back to Africa whole, all Africa. I mean, what's Africa? Who is for Africa? Who is Africa belong to? Africa belong to black people. Africa is called dark continent, black continent. So it's for black people only. Any ethnic or other color who live in Africa does not belong to Africa. But Africa also divided into two sub-ethnic, which is Bantu and Kushiti. Kushiti live upper part of Africa, from Sahara Desert to East Africa or Northeast Africa. And Bantu live Sub-Sahara. Those are the real Africans, those two. Those two, they are different feature. Bantu and Kushiti have different feature. That is the only different, difference they have actually. So those are the Africans. But Africa live right now another ethnic, like white people who live in South Africa, and Arabs who live north, west, and northern Africa, till Sudan, Libya. Those are Arabs. Those are not Africans. They came to Africa with the religion, Islam religion, after Islam, which Africa came before that actually. Africa came Islam in 7th century in Somalia. Somalia was the first ever country who became Muslim, just hearing it and accepting it. In 7th century, when Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, peace be upon him, sent some refugees who are fleeing abuse of the infidels at that time, and Prophet Muhammad could not protect them. He sent to Africa. He sent to a king who at that time presided in Ethiopia, called Najashi, and they came first to Somalia, city called Sayla, who was famous port hub at that time. They came, we hosted, Somalis hosted at that time, and when somebody comes to you and they're guest, you ask where they come from and who and where they're going and who they are. So in that discussion, they told that there is this religion, this prophet, and he's in Mecca, and we're going to Ethiopia to that king. The Somalis at that time heard and accepted, become Islam just like that. There is a third mosque in Somalia, in the world, who has two face Qibla, or two face direction of prayer in Somalia, in Sayla. There's evidence in 7th century. So they did not brought even the religion. So let's come down to Somalia also. Somalia also lived in 3 ethnic, as Africa lives, those 3 ethnic: Arabs, Bantu, and Kushite. Kushite is the indigenous of the land. Bantu came, Arabs came. So some clans of Somalia are Arabs. And in order, to know those clans are Isaac, Sheikh Ishaq, clan called Darod, and clan called Shekhal, and clan called Banadiri. Those are the Arabs. So if you see somebody who is saying, I'm Somali and I'm not African or black, maybe they are those clans who, came to Somalia in the 11th century, actually. 11th century, to indigenous Somalis, and Somalis host them, welcome them, into married Somalians, and that's what they hear. Actually, their skin change a little bit because of that African ladies who've been given. So they still black, but they say we're not black. We're not black, and their skin is black. So that's the only, explanation of that. That's the only explanation, those guys, maybe they are those clans, I just told you. So do not surprise if they say that, because they're not African. They're not even Somali, actually, if that's the case, because Somali came from one man who's called Samale. And that man is where the name of Somalia came from. His descendant, or his offspring, is the only real Somalis and indigenous of Somalia. And they cannot say we are not African, because we are African. I'm Somalis descendant, and I'm pissed off because somebody who live in Africa and saying they're not African, that's crazy. So what I would say is, if you're saying that, Africa doesn't need you. Africa doesn't want you. Get out of here. You know, in World Cup, when teams are competing, Moroccan team, when they asked, they would say, we are not African, we are Arabs. They say we are Arabs. They not even mention Africa, actually. So if you're saying that, and we welcome you, we host you, and give you a land, and you're not returning the favor, Africa does not need you, so get the heck out of here. We don't need you. Get out. Go back wherever you come from. Middle East or wherever it is.
It was a Black Friday thing, so I had to purchase the DNA kit. I always wanted to do these things. I've watched a lot of loads of DNA test videos where people, you know, dive into the DNA and see where they're from and where they originate from. And as you can tell, pause the video right now and then comment down below where you think I'm from. Am I from we may never know. Okay, let's get on to the video. So I'm Somali, I'm from East Africa, you know, repping Africa and all that. I'm from East Africa, I'm Somali, I'm from like the northern part of Somalia. It's also called Somaliland. I'm from Somaliland. Yes, both my parents are from Somaliland, and both my parents, my great parents, my great grandparents, everything of my family that I know is from like Somaliland. So when I asked my parents, like, I'm doing this video, blah blah blah, like, where are you guys from? Do you guys have a juicy story to like which cities and stuff? And they're like, some of like from the town, some of like from Hargeisa, Amiga, you know when I say Miga, like it can't trace to anything else. If you talk about like tribalism and tribes and stuff, they say that, you know, if you're Isa example, and then you have some Middle Eastern lineage in you, heritage, and I was like, I don't have that in me. I'm fully Somali. I'm probably Somali, you know. And then I started to watch like Somali do these kits, and then I saw these crazy DNA results, and I was like, okay, I need to do. Okay, that's my let's get started. Okay, the suspense, the music. Only 8.3% Somali. Wait, 11%. Okay. I have North African in me. North African? What? What? Okay, it's so specific. Sierra Leone. I'm from Sierra Leone. What just happened? What just happened? You know, they say that Isa people, like the man Ishaq, I can't even pronounce it, he came from Iraq and then like moved on from Saudi Arabia. The weirdest part of this DNA ancestry thing is definitely that I'm Asian. I know Middle East and like all that is Asian as well, but I'm Asian. East Asian, 1.4%. I'm Japanese and Korean. I'm weird, but it's so freaking weird. 1.4%. Where does that lineage come from? Is it my parents? Definitely is my parents, but is it from my mother's side, my dad's side? I need to have some talks right now. Oh my days. And I'm Melanesian, 0.9%. Like the countries in Papua New Guinea, Indonesia, and you know, those stuff, Solomon Islands and stuff. I literally read loads of things about indigenous people and, you know, Papua New Guinea and those people, and just the oceanic side of things in the Solomon Islands and the people and stuff. It's so weird because I've read about it the last 3 days and just of interest. So weird that I'm 0.9%. It's not much, but it's crazy. So basically what I'm trying to say is, call me Malaysian, call me Asian, call me Asian, call me all that thing. It's just, I need to have some talks with my parents about these things, and I'm gonna tell them about this crazy thing. But yes, that's my end.
Okay, so I got South Central African, okay, 35%. But when you break it down, it goes into Somali and Ethiopia as well, which is a bit strange. Cool flex, but okay. Then I got East African, 29%. I'm like, whoop whoop, is that family over here? Whoop whoop, that's my family over here. Then I got Middle Eastern, 29%. So at my big H, I got 29% East African, 29% Middle Eastern. Please tell me what are mathematics? Please, tell me how we get here, sister. How does it make sense? Then I get 7% North African. 1, 2, 3, viva Ajari, 1, 2, 3, viva Ajari. And I'm of course like Middle Eastern. Dunya, I am from Egypt. That's me, please, sister. That's me, Egypt. Hello, hello. Lord have mercy. Okay, so overall the results weren't shocking. It makes sense for us to, I'm saying as if everyone's Somali. By the way, I believe everyone's politically Somali. So get with the program. Anyway, overall the results weren't shocking. Especially Somalia being a coastal country, you'd expect us to intermix, especially with our history, trading across the Indian Ocean. So I'm completely fine with that.
I try to remember to like speak in Somali at least a little bit, and then I forget. So giga wafiri done disme korlakin. Mogad ifam don't. If that made any sense to anyone. As you've seen, many Somali YouTubers say like they're not that good at speaking Somali. I'm one of those, so you're welcome. You guys want to find out the Somali ancestry part? Yeah, you ready? I'm not gonna tell you. Sorry, just all that build up for nothing. I'm just kidding. Of course I'm gonna tell you. Okay. See, my ancestry DNA said that I was 41% Middle Eastern and 58% African, with a breakdown of 48% East Africa and 7% North Africa. And I had a little bit of like trace regions of like Pacific Islander and things like that.
Jewish, Iran, Iraq. But I believe it's in Iraq because my mom, she didn't want to mention about Iraq, you know? So it could be Iraq. So I'm Mizrahi, right? And then I have East Asian as well, which is, I mean, Filipino, Indonesian, and Malaysian. So that's, I mean, 2.5, right? And then Middle East, I have, Middle East, 5.2 Middle East. That could be in, you know, Saudi Arabia or something. And then I have Europe, 2.8 Europe. So, I mean, Europe, I have 2.8. That's in where in Europe. How's it not showing? Okay. I mean, I think is that Finland. You know, that's 1.5, and of course everybody gets this. Everybody gets this. Ashkenazi Jew. So Ashkenazi Jew, I have 1.3. So like most of people get that. It's basically, I'm Ashkenazi Jew by just 1.3. Yeah, 1.3. I'm more African. Look, I'm not. Yeah, look, feel. I'm more Africa, right? Yeah. So, but anyway, but here's the thing. I'm 49.6 Africa. So stop with your nonsense. You know. So obviously, nobody is gonna come say I'm 100% this. You know, that's. I mean, I know some people they get like a high result of like 85% Somali, 95% Somali, and this and that, and this and that. But as I said, because my DNA really shows that my ancestors did come from, like as I explained it previous, if you rewind and you go back, as I explained it, the ancestors came from, whether it's from Asia, India, or Yemen, Saudi Arabia, and they came to East Africa and doing some business, right? And this was like a back in the days. This is like during probably the Prophet, because here I have my Mizrahi Jew. Yeah. So that's it, really, guys. So now you guys know that I'm more Somali than her, even though she speaks Somali more.
29% or almost 30% of Somali. I didn't Somali Hanakh. The number is
26.
No. It was like it wasn't 25.
Was it 25?
25 or 24. I don't remember something like that.
I'm more Somali than you, basically.
Somali I had worked in DNA easy. I go Somali wasn't not as what do Somali.
Pictures?
Yeah, my grandfather and my grandma. I was sharing my video, their pictures.
You sure about it?
I'm sure about that.
What if they come up from the graveyard? Start hunting you.
Okay,
I don't think so. You should put pictures in the public.
No, I will share my grandfather and I will share my grandmother. I will have to call that internet to Sudona, inshallah.
All right.
Okay.
Come out for your graveyard.
Telefonka inta ku haysta. Viewed your DNA result is in. So Mohammed anu akhriya. It's loading. Okay. Maxay dhahay Aamina diyaar ma u tahay dhiigaaga ina aragtaa. So let's go, okay?
All right, let's go. Aamina, you are. Play the drums. You're Indian. Indian, no, I can't. She's not even Somali. Wallahi. She's a... Yo, you're not even Somali.
I know. And I don't want to cry.
Wallahi, you're not even Somali. Look. And you're Ethiopian Jew as well. Ethiopian Jewish. She's an Ethiopian Jewish and Indian. She's not even Somali. Okay.
Okay, Mohammed. Before.
We're gonna go through the result. Okay.
India.
Wait. Let me say in English, yeah? Then you can just translate in Somali. Okay. She's not Somali. Yeah? I'm being for real, she ain't Somali. Anyway, let's crack this thing down, yeah? She's 27.4 South Asian. That's like Indian. Like, do you know what I mean?
I want to cry.
Nah, don't cry, man. No, this thing could be fake.
No, Somali.
Wallahi, this thing could be fake.
So, you made it in